Welcome back. Let's discuss some stocks now. Hemang Jani is joining into the conversation. Hemang, hi, good morning. I wanted your thoughts first on Berger Paints. A good set of numbers coming through, double-digit volume growth. And in general, this paint segment has done quite well. Do you like any of these stocks?
So good morning, Sonia. I think paint overall has delivered a very good set of numbers, and I think Berger, the growth was about 12 odd percent. But I think when we compare the performance that Asian Paints has delivered in terms of volume growth, margin expansion, and the overall outlook, I think that definitely looks much better. Coupled with that, if you see the way the crude prices have come off, I think some of these companies could stand to benefit in terms of margin expansion as well. So I think one should really focus on Asian Paints at this point of time.
Okay, should focus on Asian Paints at this point in time. Hemang, hi, good morning. How are things looking on the banks, and would you want to buy banks here? The index itself, the Nifty Bank itself is at new highs. And which ones, in your opinion? I was looking at the names which have done the best since the lows of March. I mean, they're not right at the top of the list are names like IDFC First Bank, Bandhan Bank, and so on and so forth. HDFC, ICICI, SBI, they all kind of are somewhere in the middle. Your thoughts there?
So good morning, Prashant. I think two things. One is that when we look at this quarterly number, a large part of the earnings growth, let's say about 10-11%, is driven by the banks and the NBFCs. So this is one sector which has done extremely well when it comes to numbers. Secondly, I think, having seen this kind of a run up, and when the bank Nifty is quoting at a near all-time high, I think we can be a little more selective about what we are getting into. So from that perspective, I think Axis Bank stands out. I think the performance was very good in terms of valuations. It's looking quite compelling. Also, I think PSU banks, SBI will be delivering numbers, I think, tomorrow. And there again, we think that the numbers are going to be extremely good, though there were certain concerns about expected losses, etc. But I think there is not much of clarity about the impact that it could have. So both State Bank of India and BOB in PSU is something that we like.
Right. Hi, Hemang. Good morning. Do you track Astral Limited? Those numbers looked very, very good, in terms of the margins. We'll be speaking to the management later in the day. We'll find out whether or not there was some inventory benefit in the past quarter. But what do you make of the stock? It's never been cheap, right?
So, Nigel, Astral we do not cover, but I would like to make a point here that along with real estate, if you see the numbers from some of the plywood companies, Century Ply came out with extremely good set of numbers. Astral came out with good set of numbers. So I think the entire that home ecosystem, maybe with some exceptions, I'm not too sure about the tiles and some other categories. But I think that entire, segment is looking quite up. And as we see momentum building onto the real estate side, you will see some interest coming back into the, names like Century Ply or Tiles Company or Pipe Company for that matter.
Okay. What about something like, in the auto space, something like a Tata Motors, Eicher Motors, very good set of numbers coming in. And there seems to be some valuation headroom as well for a couple of these names. What is your pick of the pack here?
So the overall preference certainly would be towards Tata Motors because these numbers have been exceptionally good. And as JLR volumes, catches up because they are doing 80,000, the outlook is that they would do about 90,000 plus. Debt reduction, margin expansion, close to about 9 to 10% is something that market would like. With these valuations at 16, 17 times. As far as Eicher is concerned, Sonia, numbers were exceptionally good and we are looking at a very high growth, but the valuations are on a higher side.
Okay, all right. Hemang, request you to just stay with us for a bit. Anu joins us.